Not all men. Yeah, but if I gave you a box of cookies and I told you that some of them were made of shit instead of actual cookie dough, you'd be wary of the entire box, right?
Imagine a bowl of M&Ms. 10% of them are poisoned. Go ahead, eat a handful. After all, not all M&Ms are poison. Well, where to begin? First of all, what does that 10% figure represent? I mean, are they saying 10% of men are murderers or rapists? And what's the evidence for that? Are they talking about all men, American men, college men? Or as one blogger asked, men who play ukuleles or Martian men? And by the way, I wouldn't eat a single M&M if I knew that 10% or 1% or 0.01% of them were poisoned. But what's most wrong about this graphic is that it deploys the classic logic of bigots. I mean, think of saying, well, X% of African Americans or Muslims or Jews or Hispanics, X% of them are dangerous, and we just don't know which ones. So therefore, let's treat them all as suspects. Well, congratulations, Upworthy. You've promoted the same logical fallacy behind Jim Crow laws or racial profiling. Basically, the message to women is to treat all men as if they're poison. Now, I think men will be forgiven for finding the whole thing quite insulting. What's most upsetting to me, as the factual feminist, is that the shooting was an occasion for just an avalanche of misinformation about women and violence. Sarah Cliff at Vox rushed into print 8 facts about violence against women everyone should know. Well, let's consider some of those facts. Number 1, most women experience physical abuse in their lifetime. The most recent national survey of American women found that a slight majority, 51.9%, reported experience physical violence at some point in their lives. Well, this sounds like American women are living in a state of siege. Vox does give the source, but my guess is that the author assumed no one checked it out. I'm not sure she looked at it herself, because here's what it says. And stay with me, this is a mouthful. 51.9% of surveyed women and 66.4% of surveyed men said that they were physically assaulted as a child by an adult caretaker and or as an adult by any type of attacker. An estimated 1.9 million women and 3.2 million men are physically assaulted annually in the United States. Now, Vox failed to inform readers that the study counted as physical assault, grabbing, pushing, and shoving. Also, according to Vox, 1 in 10 women sustained a head or spinal injury as a result of physical assault. But if you read the study, you find that what it actually shows is that among all adult victims of physical assault who sustained an injury, both male and female, 1 in 10 sustained head and spinal cord injuries. But Vox made it sound like every woman has a 10% chance of sustaining a head or spinal injury from a physical assault. Now, the truth is bad enough. Why hype it up?
Because they need us as divided as possible. They need us to be in a constant war with each other. It's not the first time they use fake surveys or modified data to push a narrative. They need us to be at each other's throats all the time so they can keep working on emasculating men and selling antidepressants to women. It wasn't by accident that the first thing they worked on was the destruction of nuclear family. It's not by accident they want our kids to be raised and educated by the state and not by their own families.
This is the harsh reality of Japan's homeless women. Every day, she doesn't work, drinks in internet cafes, and barely survives on her parents' pension. Do you know how wasted her life is? At 5 p.m., 27-year-old Nanako has spent another day wandering the streets. She prepares to find a cheap internet cafe to sleep in. After checking in at the front desk, she heads to her room. Japanese internet cafes offer private, tiny rooms. They are well-equipped and even have women-only sections. Each room is only about 2 square meters, but ensures privacy. At $30 a night, it's affordable for a wanderer like Nanako. She urgently needs to fill her stomach. She orders online, and within 10 minutes, a staff member delivers her meal. After graduating from university, Nanako worked for 3 years. She decisively quit because the working life was too tough. She often worked overtime until 2 a.m. without extra pay. Moreover, her salary was less than $2,000. So she resigned and returned to her hometown. After eating, Nanako gets a free ice cream and drink from the cafe's dining area. If she gets bored, she plays pool outside. Before sleeping, she buys a few beers. She drinks, eats snacks, and reads manga until 2 a.m. Nanako says she is happy with her current life and has no plans to marry. She believes that being able to eat is the greatest happiness. She sleeps until 2 a.m. and plans to shower after waking up. So what do you think of this kind of life after watching this video?
that this is hopefully a bad joke. If it's not a bad joke, then make your case. Explain to me how this is not modern day euphemism. $30 a night for a 2 square meters closet? That is not a room. That's half the size of my own bed. She barely survives on her parents' pension. Was that supposed to bring sympathy to her? Because at best I have a huge amount of sympathy for her parents. I also fully believe that they need to cut a cord. You can't destroy the life of your own parents and have them struggle because you want to live that independent life. Well, I mean, apparently you can. $30 a night, $900 a month to sleep in a closet, plus whatever she spends on food because she really likes to eat. She could at any time move back in with her parents and let them enjoy their pension, but that would mean you'll have to live by their rules, so who wants that? Help your mom in the kitchen and save all the money you spend on food? Nah, what the hell am I saying? You're a strong and independent woman, of course you're not gonna do that.
So wait a sec, how are you equal if the men are the ones that have to fight and die to defend the country? The men are the ones that build and maintain all the infrastructure. Like, none of this stuff in the studio is built or maintained by women. Do you know that like 90% of infrastructure jobs are still held by men? And that if you look at the top 20 jobs held by women now in 2024 versus 1924 are almost the exact same. So women have had 100 years to do whatever they want, and they still do the same 20 jobs they did 100 years ago, other than we switched out farm labor for HR work. But other than that, we're secretaries, nurses, daycare ladies, early childhood education, administrative assistants, retail workers, all the same shit that we were a century ago. So
women fought for equality, that's great, they got it, that should have been the end of it. We're all equals in the eyes of whatever God you believe in, and we're all equals in front of the law, or so you might believe. We all have the same rights, duties, and opportunities. They fought for it, they got it, that's great, or so you may think. What they're fighting for now, it's not equality, it's equity. That's what they're fighting for. They're fighting for the right to lay on their couches, do nothing, and have the same outcome as the ones that are grinding every single day. All those young ladies listening to her had that weird look on their face because she was saying something different. It was not the same narrative and the same lies the sisterhood told them. She was not feeding them the same lie that you can take gender studies in school and then be the CEO of one of the most powerful companies.
There's controversy today in New Zealand as a new emoji poll has been revealed, and once again it's causing a generational divide. What's at the centre? Well, it's the thumbs up emoji. The younger people allegedly find it offensive.
Everyone who sends them, I'm like, you're rude.
Dry.
Well, it's dry. Yeah.
Why rude?
It just ends the conversation on a bad note.
Yeah, it's just rude. Yeah.
I feel like my dad uses it a lot, like no words, just thumbs up, and it's like, cool, conversation's done now.
It's that blue Facebook thumbs up.
Yeah.
That's like, oh God, I've overstepped the mark. I've said something wrong.
Well, the older generations, they're just confused.
As far as I'm concerned, it's a like, it's a good on you type thing, you know.
Yeah, the younger generation, they're just a bit weird.
I try to keep up, but I struggle most of the time.
Here at News Hub, we're just left wondering, remember when things were just simple and an offensive gesture was just that?
Well, there you go, nailed it. And since you nailed it, you can tell the soy generation, I mean the young generation, that they can take their own thumbs up and shove them exactly where the sun don't shine. If you think an emoji is offensive and you get butthurt by an emoji, life is gonna hit you hard.
How tall are you?
How much do you weigh?
How much money you got?
How many bodies do you got?
What's your credit score?
Do you have any student loan debt?
Do you pay all the bills?
Do you cook and clean?
How big is it?
How wide is it?
Check.
And that's exactly how drizzle started. Men started using their own logic and their own words against them.
I identify as a man.
You just attacked my product.
This product identifies as a star. I'm throwing stars.
Oh, great. Now you're committing you're committing...
Great. Let's call them that. Call the fucking cops, somebody. I identify as a man.
No, you don't. You don't even identify as a art because you obviously are one. Every single man on this planet knows that if he acts like that, especially with another man or in front of another man, he might get punched in the face. Some men are okay with that and they act like that, but the majority will try to avoid it. Now, I have no idea how a lot of you think it's okay to act like that in front of anyone, but I hope you know that at some point when acting like that, someone is gonna identify as Mike Tyson, and you better be okay with that. But anyway, I'm done for today. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and I will see you in the next one.